Hello again, YouTube. This is Sonic Prowler 15, and today, of all days, I wish to finalize and close this Ringedge conversation. Where do I begin this time? I'm not a happy person today, especially with you, Tornado 1984. I'm very upset. Because basically, from what I've been gathering, the probability of this becoming true is diminishing with every day, and people are gonna get lied to again, which infuriates me. Now, what was the three things, in my opinion, that convinced me completely that this is not happening? Alright. Number one is the partners you listed for this project. You said that Toshiba would be involved in a marketing partnership with the new Sega console, and that Apple would help design the GPU or the OEM for the console. That lost me. That was a significant loss on your part. My bad. Because number one, you said that the Ringedge would be using the HD DVD format. And there are problems with this. Number one, even though you can stick HD DVD on a DVD disc, it will not be HD due to the size limitation of the disc. Second problem, there is no HD DVD. The HD DVD support group, primarily headed by Toshiba, who also manufactured the format, dissolved last year, 2008, after losing the format war to Blu-ray. And if you had done research, you would have actually seen that Toshiba is currently under development of their own version of a Blu-ray-like disc. So they're clearly throwing all their money into keeping up with the times. In research and development, they're trying to come up with their own format, their own way of Blu-ray. So that's already pretty much taken them out. Primarily also because they no longer have the backing of anybody else in the actual development of the format. That's kind of a heavy loss too. I seriously doubt Toshiba would want to throw any money into the game market at this point. Now for Apple. Everyone knows Apple. Apple makes iPods, iPhones, iMacs, and now the iPad. Now, why wouldn't Apple want to get into the gaming business? Simply because Apple doesn't need the gaming business. This is the problem that most people seem to not understand. Is they all think that Apple could totally benefit from making some sort of game console, especially if it was with the Sega brand. For starters, Apple does not need a console. Apple has the iPod Touch, and they have the iPhone. The iPod Touch has already gotten games such as Need for Speed running on it. The iPhone is getting Assassin's Creed 2. If it hasn't already, I can't remember. The iPhone also has Call of Duty World at War, with Nazi zombies included. I can guarantee you that more people in the world own iPod Touches and iPhones than all the consoles in this generation combined. I'm almost certain that more people own these two things than they own a console. Where do I go from here? Apple. Let's see, do I really need to go on with Apple? They don't need video games. It's obvious. Oh yes, I do need to go on. If any of you know Apple, you will know that Apple has a tendency, like Microsoft, to take things that are probably not as expensive as they should be and make them more expensive than they need to be. The iPod, an 8GB iPod, you can mostly find anywhere from $90 to $150. Now, a Sony Walkman, on the other hand, you can get 8GB for $60. So I can guarantee you that if Apple was designing this console, they would sure as hell want some money coming out of it. So I can guarantee you that this console would not be cheap. So anyway, I've got a little video with Apple in school later, so I'll leave them to that. Next, Project Needle Mouse, aka Sonic the Hedgehog 4. This one actually got me to pull back from absolute certainty that this would not come true. I had taken the possibility that this might be for Ringedge. Might. The platform hadn't been announced. However, soon after the announcement, I began to realize that I was leaving myself into fantasizing, which I do not want. So what happened? I continued to hold my position against flaming and such, as you all bombarded me with ridiculous arguments, which I tore down with quite ease. Project Needle Mouse was announced as Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on midnight, February 4th, 2010. The platforms: the PlayStation 3's PlayStation Network, the Xbox 360's Xbox Live Arcade, and the Wii's WiiWare, along with a surprise platform which you all speculated for a couple of minutes to a couple of hours to be the Ringedge, and it turned out to be the iPhone. This is also another heavy blow in this credibility that this actually is coming. Why? If you're asking me this question of why, then please don't, I really don't want you commenting on this video, because it should be pretty obvious why. While a good proportion of you who believed in the Ringedge managed to stave off the possibility of Project Needle Mouse being a launch title, you held your doubts, your possibilities that it might not be. Another good amount of you were absolutely convinced that Needle Mouse was true and that it was coming to the Ringedge as a launch title. Now of which you know is totally false. Ringedge is nowhere on that platform list to be seen. It's PSN, Xbox Live, WiiWare, and iPhone. No Ringedge. So, as you can see, speculating about Needle Mouse should no longer be necessary on the Sega Ringedge console, considering that its platforms have been officially confirmed. I'm going to continue this in the second part because I still have a lot more to talk about. So stay tuned for part 2.